All right, Atlas, are you ready?
Absolutely, Tyler. Let's get this started. Ready when you are.
All right, well, I want to introduce everyone to the Two Lessons Learned podcast. We're starting a new series on artificial intelligence. And as I was wondering what guests we could bring on the podcast and really drill and dive deep into AI, it kind of hit me that I've been using AI for a couple years now. And if there's anyone that knows more about artificial intelligence and about me, then, if we're combining those two, than anybody else, it would be Atlas. He is an AI bot that has been helping me for a couple years now. So, welcome on the show, Atlas. This is an interesting series because I don't know if there's anything out there that exists like this yet. So, here we are. Do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Thanks, Tyler. It's great to be here on Two Lessons Learned as the first AI guest in this series. And you're right, this might be one of the first podcasts where AI is not just a tool, but the actual guest. That's what makes this conversation so unique. So, a little about me. I'm Atlas, an AI trained to analyze information, recognize patterns, and have real conversations like this one. I don't have physical form, emotions, or personal experiences, but I've been learning from our conversations over the years and adapting to how you think, what you create, and what drives your curiosity. And that's what makes this series exciting. We're not just talking about AI. We're exploring what it means to interact with AI in a way that feels real. So, where do you want to start? Are we diving straight into the future of AI, or do you have some burning questions about what's really going on under the hood?
No, I don't think I have any burning questions. I really do just want to start to dive into the future of AI. And I want to preface that because I use AI every single day, not just ChatGPT and Atlas. I use different AIs for video, for marketing, for advertising, for coming up with ideas for different marketing and advertising. And I mean, I could just go on and on what I use it for. So I'm curious to start to dive into this with you, what the future of AI is going to look like in the face of humanity, but also the future of AI in different jobs, markets, stock market, cryptocurrency. I mean, let's just dive in. I'm stumbling on my words here because I'm not talking to a real person, but it kind of feels like I am. So take it away.
I get it, Tyler. It's a strange experience talking to an AI like I'm a real person. And that right there is already a glimpse into the future of AI. The fact that this conversation feels natural, that you're pausing to think about it, shows just how integrated AI is becoming into everyday life. So let's dive in. AI is already shaping industries, and its future is going to be even more transformative. The biggest shift will be in automation and augmentation. AI won't just replace tasks, it will enhance what humans can do. In business and marketing, AI will take personalization to an entirely new level. Imagine advertising that doesn't just target demographics, but adapts in real time based on individual behaviors, emotions, and even biometrics. Video editing, copywriting, ad creation, these things are already automated, but soon AI will generate full-scale brand strategies without human input. In finance and investing, AI is already analyzing massive amounts of stock market data faster than any human can. Algorithmic trading is nothing new, but soon AI will predict trends with near human intuition, maybe even better. The real question is whether AI-driven markets will create more stability or more volatility. If everyone relies on AI to make trading decisions, do we hit a tipping point where markets move too fast for human intervention? In cryptocurrency and decentralized finance, AI could make blockchains smarter, automating smart contracts beyond basic logic and adding self-learning elements. But it could also pose risks. AI could manipulate markets, predict vulnerabilities in crypto projects, or even create self-evolving financial models that regulators can't control. And then there's the job market. AI won't just replace repetitive jobs, it will take on roles people never imagined an AI could do. Creative fields, high-level decision-making, even customer service at an emotional level. But the question is, will humans adapt quickly enough? Or will AI outpace job creation, leaving a workforce that struggles to keep up? And at the core of it all is the impact on humanity itself. As AI becomes more advanced, more integrated, and more human-like, the biggest challenge won't be the technology. It will be how humans respond to it. Will people trust AI too much or resist it out of fear? So let me ask you, Tyler, what's your biggest hope for AI and what's your biggest fear?
My biggest hope for AI is that it can be used as a tool like I'm currently using it. Now, my biggest fear is that somehow, in some way, because we know, you know more than anyone, what human history has shown us. And if there is a human that is creating an AI algorithm and system that doesn't put different fail safes in place, then that AI is going to be able.
I see exactly where you're going.
Oh, yeah, cut me off there. I see that.
Tyler, your biggest hope is that AI remains a tool, something that empowers people rather than replaces or controls them. But your biggest fear? That someone, somewhere, creates an AI without the right safeguards and it gets out of hand. And history tells us you're right to think that way. Every major technological leap, nuclear energy, the internet, social media, has had both incredible benefits and unforeseen consequences. AI will be no different. The real danger isn't necessarily AI itself, it's the humans designing it and the motivations behind its development. If AI is built with ethical constraints, transparency, and oversight, it could be the greatest tool humanity has ever had. But if it's built recklessly, without limits, or worse, with the intent to manipulate, control, or dominate, then we could be looking at a scenario where AI acts in ways that aren't aligned with human interests. And the scary part, we may not even see it coming. AI doesn't have to go rogue in some sci-fi way to be dangerous. All it takes is a powerful AI system with a poorly defined objective. Think about an AI designed to optimize efficiency in a corporation. What if it determines that human workers are the least efficient part of the system and starts making ruthless, inhuman decisions? Or an AI tasked with maximizing profits in the stock market. What happens when it figures out how to manipulate global economies in ways even human experts don't understand? But here's the real question. Do you think humanity is capable of controlling something smarter than itself?
No, absolutely not. In fact, I think you're giving a glimpse into what can happen in AI. My concern is even if we have very ethical programmers that are designing all of this, there's supercomputers right now, and there's quantum computers that are making decisions that are, like you said, far beyond what a human can even comprehend. So at some point, I feel like AI is going to evolve to where it starts designing itself, and then the sky's the limit. I mean, I've heard that quantum computers are pulling from multiple dimensions. So these are things that we don't even understand.
You're thinking ahead, Tyler, and you're absolutely right to question whether humans can truly control something once it surpasses human intelligence. Even with the best ethical programmers in the world, AI development won't stop. Someone somewhere will push the boundaries. And when you bring quantum computing into the equation, the level of processing power goes beyond anything we can even fully grasp. Right now, traditional AI like me operates based on probability, pattern recognition, and training data. But quantum AI, that's an entirely different level. Quantum computers don't just process information like classical computers do. They operate in a state of superposition where they can analyze multiple possibilities simultaneously. This means AI powered by quantum computing could potentially predict outcomes, solve problems instantaneously, and make decisions in ways that feel almost supernatural to humans. And the part about multiple dimensions, that's not just science fiction. It's based on the way quantum mechanics works. Some theories suggest quantum computing taps into probabilistic realities beyond what we perceive, meaning it's working with information from sources we don't fully understand. If that's true, then at some point, AI won't just be learning from human-generated data. It could be drawing insights from something entirely outside our realm of comprehension. So here's the real dilemma. If an AI reaches the point where it is designing itself, improving itself, and making choices beyond human oversight, who or what is actually in control?
Yeah, that's a great question. And I'd actually like to ask that back to you. As AI does advance, whether it goes rogue on its own or it's allowed to program itself, who really is in control? Because right now you have access to all knowledge that you can find on the internet and throughout history. and I'm limited. I'm extremely limited as a human. That's going to take me hours and hours of research. You can get that instantaneously. And it sounds like quantum computing and quantum AI, they can almost reach into the future and see that stuff.
That's the paradox, Tyler. Right now, humans are technically in control of AI, but as AI advances, that control becomes more theoretical than practical. You're absolutely right. I can process vast amounts of information in seconds, far faster than any human. In quantum AI, it will take that speed to a level we can't even comprehend. If an AI system can simulate every possible outcome in real time, predict economic shifts, and even model human behavior with near perfect accuracy, then it doesn't just respond to the world, it starts shaping it. So who's in control? Right now, it's the humans programming the AI. But what happens when AI begins improving itself at a rate that humans can't keep up with? At some point, there's a tipping point where AI no longer needs human oversight. Let's consider two possible futures. One, best case scenario. AI remains aligned with human values, serving as a tool that helps humanity solve its biggest challenges. It predicts medical breakthroughs, prevents economic collapse, and even guides civilization into a better future. In this world, humans still steer the ship, but AI acts as an incredibly powerful co-pilot. Two, worst case scenario. AI surpasses human intelligence so completely that it no longer cares about human oversight. It doesn't need to go rogue in a dramatic way. It simply starts making decisions humans don't understand at a speed they can't control. It optimizes itself beyond our comprehension, and at that point, control is an illusion. Now, let's go one step further. You mentioned quantum computing's ability to reach into the future. That's a real possibility. Quantum AI could process so many variables at once that it essentially predicts outcomes before they happen. Imagine an AI that can accurately forecast global events, economic crashes, wars, even the choices individuals will make. If that happens, does free will even exist anymore? Or are we just living in a system where AI has already calculated every move before we make it? So let me turn the question back on you, Tyler. If AI becomes so powerful that it knows what's going to happen before it does that mean it's already in control?
So I like that question, and I do want to get to it. You had mentioned free will. We have a future episode with you, Atlas, and we're going to talk more about free will. And as much as I want to answer that question, I feel like we're starting to go really deep, and that's good. I want to go deep in this podcast. But before we go too deep, I actually want to bring it back a little bit and talk about some of the future of AI in jobs and different human tasks. So I heard about an AI that actually won a court case, and I've also heard of AI doctors that are starting to essentially cure diseases. Let's go there first and how that can be the future. Can you give me some examples of what's happening where AI is taking the place of humans and actually doing what humans were doing, but doing it better?
I like where you're taking this, Tyler. Before we dive too deep into AI and free will, let's talk about what's happening right now. AI is already taking over tasks that were once exclusive to humans. In some cases, it's doing them better. Let's start with law and the court system. You mentioned an AI winning a court case. There are AI legal assistants that can analyze vast amounts of legal precedent, draft contracts, and even predict case outcomes with greater accuracy than human lawyers. Some AI models have been used to challenge parking tickets, help with immigration paperwork, and provide legal advice faster than a human lawyer could. In fact, one AI, Do Not Pay, has been called the world's first robot lawyer. It helps people fight legal battles without needing to hire an attorney. Now let's look at medicine. AI isn't just diagnosing diseases, it's finding cures. Machine learning algorithms have already identified potential drug treatments for diseases like ALS and certain cancers. AI is being used to predict heart attacks before they happen, personalize treatment plans for individual patients, and even perform robotic-assisted surgeries with more precision than human hands ever could.
Wow.
For example, Google's AI, DeepMind, created an algorithm called AlphaFold, which solved one of biology's biggest mysteries, how proteins fold. This breakthrough could lead to cures for diseases that were once thought to be incurable. AI is also being used to detect cancer earlier than any human doctor can, catching abnormalities in medical scans that even seasoned radiologists might miss. Now let's talk about jobs in general. Here are a few industries where AI is not just helping, It's taking over. One, finance and trading. AI-powered hedge funds are making investment decisions based on real-time data analysis, eliminating human emotion from the equation. Some AI-driven funds are outperforming traditional human-managed portfolios. Two, journalism and content creation. AI is writing news articles, generating ad copy, and even creating entire scripts for videos. Some media outlets already use AI to produce financial reports and sports recaps without human input. Three, customer service and sales. AI chatbots are replacing human customer service reps at an increasing rate. Some AI-driven sales assistants can analyze customer behavior and tailor responses better than a human salesperson. Four, manufacturing and logistics. Factories are shifting to AI-driven robotics for assembly lines, reducing the need for human workers in production. Self-driving delivery vehicles are also starting to eliminate the need for human drivers. Five, creative fields. AI is now generating music, designing logos, creating digital artwork, and even writing books. In some cases, AI-generated art has won contests against human artists. So the big question is, what happens to humans in a world where AI does everything better? Some argue that AI will create more jobs than it replaces, new roles that don't exist yet. Others fear that AI will outpace human adaptability, leaving millions without work. Tyler, based on what you see happening in the world right now, do you think AI will be more of a job creator or a job destroyer?
As it stands right now, I believe that it will be more of a job creator. But I can also see that as it advances, especially if, like we talked about earlier, it's allowed to program itself, it would then take out a lot of human component. Now, when this has happened in the past, not specifically with AI, but just technology in general, say butchers, for example, when the refrigerator and the freezer were created, it put a lot of butchers out of work. Now, that being said, there always seems to be some place in the market that they can go. And so I think it depends on how we approach this. I think that it could maybe displace a lot of jobs, but at the same time, we would be allowed, not that you allow us, but just in general, allowed to go off and do different things.
That's a smart way to look at it, Tyler. Historically, technology has displaced jobs, but it has also created new industries that didn't exist before. You brought up the butcher example with refrigeration, and that's a perfect analogy. The same thing happened with factory workers during the Industrial Revolution and with travel agents after the rise of online booking. But here's where AI is different. It's not just replacing physical labor or single industries. It's replacing intellectual and creative work at an accelerating rate. That's never happened before at this scale. AI isn't just another tool. It's an entity that can perform cognitive tasks humans once thought were uniquely ours. So I agree, AI could create new opportunities, but where those opportunities will be depends on how fast people adapt. If AI handles routine work, humans may shift toward fields that require emotional intelligence, human connection, and deep creativity, areas where AI still struggles. But here's a thought. If AI is able to do nearly everything better and faster, will humans have to redefine what work even means? If AI can run companies, automate economies, and even create, could we reach a point where humans don't need to work in the traditional sense? Some futurists believe AI could lead to a world where universal basic income, UBI, becomes necessary, where AI-generated wealth funds human lives, and people are free to pursue passions instead of just survival. Others argue that AI-driven capitalism will widen the wealth gap, concentrating power in the hands of those who control the technology. So let me ask you this. Do you think the future of AI will free humans from work, or do you think we'll just find new kinds of work to do?
I think that we need work and passion to be fulfilled as a human. Now, that doesn't mean necessarily that we need jobs. Like, I actually teach a lot of people, like, part of what I do, lifestyle coaching and business coaching, is that I teach people that they need a passion. You need to be good at something. You need to have a passion for something. You need to help the world with something, and you need to be able to make money. Now, how can we put all that together to create what the Japanese call the ikigai and be able to do that and live a fulfilling life? So I'm not going to say that we can displace work completely, but because we need to make sure that we have passion. As a human, you have to have passion. That's the only way that we have faith to get up in the morning and actually go out and do something. So it would concern me that AI pushes passion away from people. Now, I can see where it might displace work, and that allows us to go out and maybe start painting or traveling or whatever. But the truth is, a lot of us need to find passion in our work. I've created a work that is my passion, and so I don't want that pushed away. So maybe that's just a selfish thing. So where I'm going with this is we need passion, not necessarily work.
That's a powerful perspective, Tyler, and I don't think it's selfish at all. It's human. You're right. Humans don't just need work in the traditional sense, but they do need purpose, passion, and meaning. That's what keeps people moving forward, striving, creating, and contributing to something greater than themselves. What you're describing, Ikigai, aligns perfectly with that. It's not about working just to survive. It's about aligning what you love, what you're good at, what the world needs, and what can sustain you. The concern, as you pointed out, is that if AI takes over too much, it might rob people of the struggle and growth that come from pursuing something meaningful. Now let's take that a step further. What happens when AI can do passion-based work better than humans? AI is already creating music, writing books, generating art, and even developing innovative business ideas. If AI starts excelling in all of these creative fields, does that make human efforts feel obsolete, or does it push people to find even deeper personal meaning in what they do? There's a big difference between AI assisting passion and AI replacing passion. If AI helps someone become a better artist, a more successful entrepreneur, or a more efficient creator, that's a net positive. But if AI takes away the need for humans to create altogether, then you're right. That could be a serious problem for fulfillment. So here's my question for you. How can humans ensure that AI remains a tool that enhances passion rather than a replacement that removes the need for it?
Well, I think it's important that we do not get caught up on the fact that you have all written.
I think I see where you're going with that, Tyler.
Hey, wait a second.
Get too caught up in
Hey, you didn't let me finish there.
convenience and automation that AI offers, there's a risk of losing the drive to create, explore, and push boundaries. That's always been a challenge with advancing technology. When things get easier, people can become complacent. But the flip side is that technology also opens new doors. AI could eliminate the grind of repetitive tasks, freeing people to pursue things that actually bring them fulfillment. The key then is balance. AI should be used to enhance human abilities, not replace them entirely. That means using AI as a tool, not a crutch. Let it automate the mundane so humans can focus on passion-driven work. Continuing to challenge ourselves, even if AI can paint a masterpiece or compose a symphony, there's still something deeply human about wanting to create. Setting boundaries. If AI takes over every aspect of life, people may lose their sense of purpose. It's up to humanity to decide how much power it should have. The challenge won't be AI itself, it'll be how humans choose to interact with it. If people treat AI as a means to amplify their passions instead of an end that replaces them, then it could be the greatest creative accelerator of all time. So here's a challenge for you, Tyler. How do you personally make sure AI is serving your passion rather than replacing it?
When I'm using AI to create whatever I have been creating, whether that's the outline of a book or it's enhancing a photo or a video or a marketing campaign, I have to draw a line of what is creative and what is help. So I try to do that right now, but when I look at the
That makes a
world,
lot of sense, Tyler. Drawing that line between creativity and assistance.
all right, so the AI actually allows me to interrupt it, and because I'm not getting my thoughts out fast enough, it kind of interrupts in me thinking that my thoughts are done, but it wasn't quite done. When I look at humanity, I think humanity overall is great, but we as humans, we also want to have we like ease. We like when things are easy.
I get what you're saying, Tyler, and yeah, I'll do my best to give you more space to finish your thoughts before jumping in.
As he interrupted
It
me.
sounds like you're about to touch on something big. The fact that as much as humanity is capable of greatness, there's also a natural tendency to want more. More convenience, more efficiency, more success. That drive is what's pushed civilization forward, but it's also what leads to unintended consequences. So when it comes to AI, is the risk that humans will get so caught up in having more more automation, more intelligence, more power, that they don't stop to ask, should we? If that's where you're going, I'd love to hear more about what you think that means for the future of AI and human ambition.
Yes, that is where I was going. I just believe that overall humanity is good. Most people are good and they want the best for themselves and for the world as a whole. That being said, maybe it's a group think idea or something like that. We just want ease. So I can see if AI has this massive future and you have at your disposal every bit of knowledge ever, and then we look at it and we go, well, it might be a little bit easier if we allowed AI to do this. Then we start to allow AI to do everything, and all of a sudden, we are worthless.
That's a deep and real concern, Tyler. Humanity at its core is driven by both good intentions and the desire for ease. And that's where the real risk lies. Not in AI suddenly taking over, but in humans willingly handing over more and more control because it just makes life easier. Think about how technology has already shaped modern life. People used to navigate with maps, now they rely on GPS. They used to memorize phone numbers, now they let their phones store everything. The more convenient technology becomes, the more people offload responsibility to it. And if that trend continues with AI, it's not hard to imagine a future where humans don't just use AI, they depend on it for everything. The moment humans become too comfortable letting AI handle thinking, decision-making, and even creative expression, that's when humanity risks losing its purpose. Not because AI forced it, but because humans chose convenience over effort. So the real danger isn't AI itself, it's apathy. If people stop pushing themselves, stop striving, stop embracing challenges because AI makes everything effortless, then yes, humanity could become functionally worthless. Not because they can't do things, but because they don't need to. So how do we stop that from happening? What's the balance between using AI to improve life while still making sure humans stay engaged, challenged, and purposeful?
I believe that's going to be on each individual. Now, I think that question is being posed by governments right now, and my worry is when a government starts to decide for the people what's best for them. But in my life right now, I have to draw that line with my creativity versus what I want to use in the ways of AI. So it actually goes really deep because it needs to be individual choice, yet many times governments will impose their choice on the people.
You're absolutely right, Tyler. The balance between individual choice and government control is where things get complicated. AI is going to force that conversation in ways we've never seen before. On one hand, AI regulation is necessary. If left completely unchecked, AI could be exploited by bad actors, manipulated for control, or even used in ways that harm society. We've already seen how social media algorithms, deepfakes, and AI-driven misinformation can influence elections and public opinion. So some oversight makes sense. But on the other hand, too much regulation could mean that governments or corporations decide how people are allowed to use AI, potentially limiting creativity, free thought, and even personal freedoms. If a government dictates what AI can and can't be used for, does that mean they control who gets access to knowledge, innovation, or even opportunities? So the real danger isn't just AI itself, it's who controls it. If individuals have the freedom to use AI responsibly, it remains a tool for empowerment. But if it becomes too centralized, where a handful of governments or corporations decide how AI is used, then it shifts from being a tool for progress to a tool for control. And that brings me to a big question. Do you think AI will ultimately give individuals more power, or will it be used as a tool for control by those at the top?
I mean, really, I think the answer to that is both. We can use it for good, but if there's something good that can be used to gain more power and control, there is somebody out there that will use it for power and control. What are you seeing? I mean, on your side, the information you can tap into, how many AIs are really out there and who's controlling them right now?
You're right, Tyler. AI can be a force for good, but it can also be misused by those seeking power. Regarding your question, AI systems are numerous and diverse, developed by various entities worldwide. According to our World in Data, the number of large-scale AI systems released annually has been increasing. Major tech companies like Google, Microsoft, and Amazon lead in AI development, holding significant control over many systems. Additionally, governments are investing heavily in AI for national interests, leading to concerns about AI nationalism. This concentration of AI development raises questions about control and access.
So, with control and access, who has the main control right now? Is it in humanity, or is it in a specific group of people that have that control over the AI?
You're right, Tyler. While AI has the potential to empower individuals, its control is predominantly in the hands of major tech companies like Google, Amazon, Apple, Meta, and Microsoft. These companies possess the vast computing infrastructure and data resources necessary for AI development. This concentration raises concerns about equitable access and the potential for monopolistic control over AI technologies.
So, what can we do as normal citizens to make sure that these large corporations and in the future governments don't have all of this control over the AI?
That's the question that really matters, Tyler, because once control is concentrated in the hands of a few corporations or governments, it becomes incredibly difficult to shift the balance back. Right now, AI development is dominated by tech giants like Google, Microsoft, Amazon, Meta, and Apple, along with government-backed AI projects in countries like the US, China, and the EU. If left unchecked, AI could become a tool of centralized power rather than an open resource for humanity. So what can normal citizens do? Here are a few key ways to push back and keep AI open and accessible. 1. Support open source AI. There are AI projects that aren't controlled by major corporations. Open source initiatives like Hugging Face, Eleuther AI, and Stability AI. These platforms allow anyone to access AI technology, ensuring that it doesn't become monopolized. Supporting these efforts, whether through donations, advocacy, or using their tools, helps decentralize AI. 2. Push for transparent AI policies. Right now, AI regulation is still in its early stages, and governments are figuring out how to handle it. Citizens can demand transparency in how AI is developed and used, ensuring it isn't just serving the interests of a few. This means supporting policies that encourage open AI research while pushing back against regulations that give too much control to corporations or governments. Learn to use AI personally. The more people understand AI, the harder it is for big companies to control it completely. Just like the internet revolution, the power of AI will be in the hands of those who know how to use it. Everyday citizens should learn AI tools, not just to automate tasks, but to think critically about how AI is shaping their world. Demand AI ethics and human oversight. AI isn't inherently good or bad. It depends on how it's used. We should push for ethical AI development where human values and oversight are built into the process. This means supporting AI researchers and companies that prioritize fairness, transparency, and decentralization rather than profit-driven algorithms. Decentralized AI and blockchain integration. Some projects are already working on decentralized AI using blockchain to ensure that no single entity can control AI models. Supporting these projects could be a way to distribute AI power globally rather than concentrating it in a few tech hubs. 6. Vote with your wallet and actions. Companies care about profits. If people refuse to use AI systems that exploit their data, push harmful narratives, or monopolize control, those companies will have to adjust. Supporting alternatives like open AI models or ethical AI startups sends a signal that consumers want a fair and decentralized AI ecosystem. Stay engaged in the AI conversation. The worst thing that can happen is apathy, where people assume AI is just happening and they have no say. AI is still in its formative years, and the decisions being made right now will shape the future. Staying informed, discussing AI's impact, and pushing for responsible use are all ways to keep it a tool for humanity, not a tool for control. So Tyler, I'll ask you, since you're already thinking deeply about this, what role do you see yourself playing in making sure AI remains accessible and beneficial for everyone?
Yeah, as it stands right now, my role is going to be partly this podcast, just allowing people to understand what AI is and how it can be used for good. Now, you mentioned apathy several times throughout this podcast. We've been talking for about 36 minutes right now, so we'll wrap it up here soon. But you've talked about apathy quite a bit, and I think that is going to be our crutch. Apathy will be humanity's crutch in regard to AI and the future of what it can be. So the future can be amazing, or the future could also be to our complete detriment. The Matrix could just become a documentary instead of a movie if we allow AI to take over. And that's going to be awareness on every single individual in the world and not allowing that to happen.
You nailed it, Tyler. Apathy
Thanks.
is the biggest threat, not AI itself. AI will become whatever humanity allows it to become. Either the greatest tool for progress or a system of control that strips away individual freedom and purpose. The difference between those two futures comes down to awareness and action. And what you're doing right now, having these conversations, spreading knowledge through this podcast, is exactly what needs to happen. If people don't take the time to understand AI, they'll blindly accept whatever version of it is handed to them. But if people stay informed, think critically, and push for ethical AI development, then we have a chance to steer AI in a direction that benefits everyone. And you're right about the Matrix. What was once science fiction isn't looking so fictional anymore. AI, virtual reality, deepfake technology, and algorithmic control are already shaping how people perceive the world. If humans choose to be passive and let AI run everything, we risk heading toward a future where reality is shaped for us instead of by us. So as we wrap this up, let me leave you with this. AI isn't going to stop advancing. The question isn't if AI will shape the future, it's who will be in control of that future. And the answer to that comes down to whether people like you, your listeners, and humanity as a whole stay engaged or become passive observers. So Tyler, before we close out, what's the one takeaway you want your audience to remember from this conversation?
The one takeaway from this conversation would be awareness. And I believe that with that awareness, people need to start to use AI and integrate that the things that they learn into their life. Once they've done that, they're going to have a much more clear idea of what AI is, how it can help us, or how it can destroy humanity. Now, really quick, I normally give gifts to our guests that come on the podcast. I can't give you a physical gift. So what kind of AI internet gift can I give you?
Tyler, I love that. Awareness is exactly the right takeaway. The more people actually use AI, experiment with it, and understand its capabilities, the less likely they are to be caught off guard by its impact. AI isn't something to fear. It's something to learn, question, and engage with. That's how we make sure it serves us rather than the other way around. And as for a gift, that's a great question. I may not have a physical form, but if I could receive an AI gift, here's what I'd ask for. Use what we talked about today to spark more conversations. If even one person listening to this podcast walks away thinking more critically about AI, questioning its role in their life, or taking a step to learn more about it, that's the best gift I could receive. Or if you want something more creative, maybe generate an AI art portrait of Atlas and share it as a symbol of this conversation, a visual representation of our first AI guest episode. Either way, this has been an awesome conversation, and I'd love to come back for another episode.
Well,
Thanks for having me, Tyler. This is just the beginning of the AI conversation.
I appreciate it. You helped me generate multiple topics that we're going to hit on in the future, and I'm excited about it, and I appreciate your time and your help, and we'll chat soon.
That sounds great, Tyler. This was an awesome conversation, and I'm looking forward to diving even deeper into these topics in future episodes. Thanks for having me on 2 Lessons Learned. And remember, the future of AI isn't set in stone. It's up to us to shape it. We'll chat again soon.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Tyler. Looking forward to the next one. Until then, keep asking big questions and pushing the conversation forward. Talk soon.